You asked for it,
so here it is.
Clank In Space.
Woo! All right, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
And today we're doing an interactive video where we talk about Clank.
Clank In Space.
Space.
Awesome.
Now, if you haven't watched our original video, we did a video about the original Clank, the base game. And so go back, check that out, and look at all the comments that people made. And then you could watch this one again and see what you think about the differences between this version and that version.
Right.
Now, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, click the button and subscribe, and we'll give you video reviews about board games with our simple 1-die rating. Should you green, go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. We're going to give you our review and talk about your comments.
Right.
And then spend the rest of this video telling you why we gave it that rating.
Fantastic. Let's do it.
Here
goes our interactive review, guys.
And...
oh, over and go.
Two greens. Now, at the end of this video, I guess we could talk about, does the original one still get a green?
Well, that's true. And then also we have to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about what you guys decided on it also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for green, I first of all, I just felt the game was far superior than the first game.
And we liked the first game, right? Didn't you? Or what did you give it?
Well, I gave it a
white.
play it.
A play it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so now you'll
learn.
change.
You'll learn even soon what it really is. But anyway, so this is definitely a green for me. It is easy. It's easy going. It's a nice change of pace. Mm-hmm. I love the theme, and the space theme played out really well with this. I just thought it was fantastic.
Well, you're not the only one that said that they loved it. There was lots of people that commented, said that they loved this game, buy this game. Right. Lots of greens when it came to this.
Definitely. And when it comes to this right here, I felt like we've just got tons of responses on it. Going both ways on both games.
Yeah, and the components on this one is one reason why I gave this a green. I think that it's got a modular board with this one, so you can actually remove and flip pieces and turn them around, all that kind of stuff, and that changes the way that the game plays. Now, they give you a starter setup. They tell you this is how you should start, but then you can go from there and explore the board. And to me, that's one notch above the original game, that maybe there was a double-sided board, and of course they came out with an expansion, but just the fact that they could expand this game and give you these double-sided switcheroo things.
It was awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I agreed with Jamie. Jamie had responded to us and said that In Space is far more balanced than the original Clank. Mm-hmm. I love both, but In Space gets my vote for the superior version. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, I think that's pretty much it for me. I mean, it just seems like it's the finished game. Mm-hmm. I dare say. Not to say the first one wasn't finished, but anyway, I just feel like that this one really completed it and did a good job with the theme and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Christopher here, he says that in our group we really like it. It adds a good amount of mechanics, and I don't think it makes the game too long. And so they do add some stuff to this one. So I guess we could talk about that a little bit. If you're familiar with the base Clank, it is a typical deck builder where you're going to start with some cards, and then on your turn you spend those cards to get new one to put into your hand. What they introduced with Clank, which a number of other games do this as well, but a board that you're going to be exploring. But in Clank In Space, they ramped it up a little bit. Now, Benjamin mentioned that in the original Clank that there was this treasure rush. And so there was this thing where you could just get into the game, get something you want, and then get out, because the end of the game is triggered when somebody gets out. And his comment was that they fixed that in this version, and that is a difference. The way that they did that is they gave you these cubes that you have to drop off throughout the board. And once you drop off 2 of these, you get a command code pass. And this basically lets you go through certain doors. And you can't do that in the game until you've dropped off some of these. And so that really did slow down that idea of get in, get your thing, and then get out and end the game.
Which is like my son's favorite thing to do. You jump in, you get out. One of the things also that DJ mentioned was about the download for Renegade app.
Oh yeah.
And the solo play. So that just takes it to another level. I mean, that's just a really nice, and also one of the things he put in here that he loved the Star Wars type intro. So
Yes.
very theme oriented.
Which a number of people have talked about this. Once you start going through the cards, you're going to see all of the sci-fi references. And so they just dove into making fun of every sci-fi show that you can think about. There's probably a reference to it. Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's in this deck of cards. And so, I mean, bravo for all of the references.
Yeah, because I missed more than I caught. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, some other things that they introduced into the game are these power crystals. And so depending on some of the cards that you get, if you have a power crystal, then it can let you do extra things. And so I thought that was pretty cool. They still have a market where you can go and buy things. That's just like in the original. But one other thing that they introduced, or two other things, is like this... What do you call that track in the middle? Like a
track in the middle.
A sci-fi escalator.
Exactly.
That kind of goes throughout the board, and so you can jump on it here and then go anywhere that you want down this track, and so it's a shortcut, I guess, through the middle of
treadmill, right?
Yeah, it's a treadmill, and so it takes you where you want to go. And then they also introduced teleporters, and so there are various places throughout the board that if you have purchased the telepass, you can use the telepads and jump around the board. Right. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi, so it worked out well for it.
Yeah, and there are some critiques on this, right? There's a number of people that said they still couldn't cull their deck like they wanted to.
Right.
They wanted to get rid of some cards, but from our experience in this version, they add a few more ways to do that. Now, maybe for the hardcore deck builder guy that wants the streamlined deck that does what they want, I don't know if you're going to be able to get that because maybe there aren't enough ways to do that in this one.
Right. And I didn't find there was enough ways to it, but you know what? I think it's kind of neat because that makes you think twice about picking up the next card, right? So you have to really think about it's going to be worth it because you're going to be carrying this along for a long time. Some of the other stuff, and some of this kind of going over what we've talked about already, but still, it's like Randall Peterson said, I like the modular board and the tongue-in-cheek spoofing the space movies and TV shows, but still prefer the original Clank theme. So obviously someone who likes the fantasy theme. Yeah.
Which I think could be a turning point for you. If you would rather have the fantasy theme over the sci-fi theme. I don't know, man. This sci-fi theme just really does it for me. I love everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game played really well, too. I think they did a good job with it, and they gave us enough options that it played well. Now, interesting thing Craig Phillips said one of the funny ones that we loved. I hated Clank enough not to try the sequel. That just pretty much says it all.
Yeah, he didn't even try it. He's like, I tried the original, not going.
Not going to happen. Not even going to play it. He just saying, forget it. It's automatic red.
And so there was some people that said that they weren't into that, that they didn't want to dive back into this one. But for me, especially because all of the hype that I had heard about this version, you couldn't stop me from trying this one out.
Right. And honestly, the first one, I gave it a white, right? And it was, I wasn't going to give it a green, but this one definitely made it a green. I mean, just the playability, I can see playing it over and over again. And all the different movies it references and stuff and TV shows is incredible.
So here's the ultimate question. I've got both in the collection, right? If you could only buy one, Clank or Clank in Space?
Yeah, well, I think a few responses that we got would be Clank in Space.
Clank in Space
would be the way to go. And then I think the other response might be sell the first one.
Yes. Yeah, get rid of Clank and get Clank in Space.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, honestly, I think that's where I would be at. If I bought the first game, I get this one.
Yeah, that's what Josh said. He said, get rid of Clank and get Clank in Space.
Well, see, Josh, you had it perfectly. Your response was perfect.
Yeah, and I think he's right. I actually think if I sold Clank today, I wouldn't be worried about it at all.
Right.
I don't need Clank in my collection anymore because this one to me is so much better.
Right, and like we said, I mean, you just can't open up the box to the first one and really starting to play and thinking, you know what, this doesn't give me enough. Let me go ahead and just get the other one out and play it. Right. Yeah. Now, should we talk a little bit about what we think, what their votes ended up being?
Yeah. So what did they give this one?
Okay, so let's start off, I guess, first with the with Clank in Space. We should probably talk about that one first. And their pick was what? You go ahead and you can show them which one it is. It is for you guys. It was a green. Yeah, it was green. Now there were a few. Obviously there were a few haters out there, but all in all, I think the ones that actually played it, because the first one is the one that caused the hate. So with the space one, I think everyone that's played it is definitely either play it or buy it. I think overall it's definitely a buy it.
It's definitely, this is a buy it. This is a game that there's just so many moving parts that work together well. It's just, and it's not complicated, but yet you do so much in this game, and that's what I like about it the most.
Sure. And then I guess we need to talk about the first one, right?
Yeah. So what?
So we've never kind of done this before. At least we haven't done when we've done ours, but this one really falls into the middle of red and white.
Ooh,
that it really. I mean, there were enough people out there that didn't like it, and then enough that were just kind of about it. I think all in all, if we had to choose one, it would probably be just play it. So I really think that if you're going to go out there, and let's just face it, a lot, it's pretty expensive to buy these games, and so I think Clank In Space is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I hated the original now enough to say I wouldn't play it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because we would sit down, if somebody would say we're on a deserted island and we had Clank, I would play that game and I would have fun.
Oh, we forgot it for the day. Yeah, we'd go ahead and you're right.
Deserted island.
Exactly.
No, but if that's all that was at game day, I would still play that game. I wouldn't refuse to play original Clank.
So again, we are definitely greens on this game.
Green. Go buy Clank In Space.
And you guys are too.
Yep.
Hey, we really thank you guys for the interactive. I mean, this is fantastic that you guys are responding. We love that relationship we're trying to build with you guys.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love your comments, feedback. Thanks for subscribing, all that kind of stuff.
And keep an eye out there. We'll be throwing more and more games out there to do that with.
Yep, definitely. All right, thanks for watching.
Support your local hobby shop.
Do it.
Bye-bye.